Hey, let's get it.
All right, welcome to the Next Level Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something that, it's actually, I think is going to help a lot of you out. So I have a question. How do these investors have the funds to do these flips when it just takes like years, half a decade to just save $6,000, $8,000 in the bank account?
How'd they do that?
Oh man, yeah, it's a good question. A lot of people wonder that. So there's a couple different ways. I mean, obviously you can save your money, like you said, take you decades to save, 20, 30, $30,000. A lot of money to save.
Oh, yeah.
To save up, tens of thousands of dollars. And so how does a younger individual that wants to shorten that time period for saving money to get into a flip, how do they expedite that?
Not even a younger person, somebody with 35 years old. Usually, like, let's say if it's a full flip, that could be anywhere from $45 to $70,000 in repair costs. How do they do that?
Yeah, no. So obviously they're looking to either JV with somebody or joint venture with somebody, or they're finding a financing partner. That could be like a hard money lender or a private lender.
Perfect. So then what they use is either a private money lender or a hard money lender to do the flips.
Yeah, I mean that's the quickest way, because a lot of these properties that are bought off market don't either have the time to be able to use a traditional loan where you have to close in 30 days or less. So a traditional lender, we know, takes longer because you got to get the appraisal out there, you got to get the loan underwritten. By the time that goes through that whole process, typically these deals off market, they need to go 30 days or less. So, how do you expedite that? And so a hard money lender or a private lender are people who don't go through that rigorous underwriting process. So it cuts that time down. Now, a hard money lender, if the listeners don't know what that is, a hard money lender is somebody who lends not based on credit and typically looking at a financial position of the investor. They're looking typically on equity that's inside the deal and a down payment. So they'll lend basically based on the investment situation. So
Gotcha.
They're lending based not on your personal financial position. I mean, that does take a small accounting for, but it's mainly based on either the property itself, having a lot of equity in it, or your down payment. So if you have, a sizable down payment, at least 20%, you're probably going to be able to get that hard money loan pretty quickly and underwritten pretty quickly.
Perfect. So that's a really good objective of like what the whole things are about this, what this episode is going to be about. A little quick summary on both ends. Let's start with private money lending. What is private money lending? How does it work? And when would you use it?
Okay, I'll let Bailey hit that one.
Okay, I want to back up a little bit. So there's a saying that we have in the office: if you find a deal, somebody's got the money. So Felix has started off talking about, okay, how am I supposed to say as an investor, am I supposed to save up all this coin after every paycheck if I'm not an investor already? And then 10 years down the road, I saved up a decent amount. But how do these flippers do 6, 7 projects at a time? They got that much cash in their pocket?
How did they do it?
Yeah.
How do they do it?
So how they do it is they leverage other people's financing, OPM, other people's money. There's hard money lending. There's private money. There's crowdfunding. There's all this kind of stuff, syndicates, things like that. So to answer Felix's question is there's private money lending, there's hard money lending. Private money lending is somebody like you find your friend or a family member, or somebody that you know privately.
Ooh.
Right? Somebody that you know one-on-one individually. Like if I know Anthony or I know Felix and I know let's say I don't have the coin and I find this deal, I find this house where I know I can make money on it, but I don't have the money. I can go to Felix and say, hey, can you lend me? This is, I'll show you everything. Bear with me here, but can you lend me $150,000? You'd be like, what? But once I show you, hey, I'll pay you interest, 12% interest on it. and then this is your position in it. Your
Mhm.
first position, you have a lien against the property. So God forbid I get abducted by aliens, you get to keep the property and all the repairs that I've done, etc. So that's private money. Hard money is pretty much the same thing, except it's a company that lends you the money, not an individual.
It could be like a local, national, or just a business that does that.
Yeah, so the private money, there's less red tape, because it's on an individual basis or relationship base. Hard money, there's more red tape. They have appraisals, they have, things a lot of times that they have to get done, and then you have to send them, your LLC docs and all this kind of
More
stuff.
bureaucracy.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the difference, really. Private money, it's more negotiable. There's more give and take. Hard money, it's like, hey, these are the terms. This is what we can offer you. And they usually it's more expensive to do hard money.
So basically, you go to them. You're like, "Hey, yeah, can you give me this much money? This is what I need for the flip. It's a deal. Look at these numbers." You convince them, and then the reason why they would is because then they're like, "You know what? You're gonna be paying me interest on it, right? I have all this money. I'm not putting it to good use. You go ahead, put it to good use, and I'll make some money on top of that."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So it's leverage. It's like you said a little bit ago off air. You said, hey, if somebody's it's a kind of a partnership. You find the deal, but you don't have the money. Somebody else doesn't have the deal, but has the money.
Right.
And so that's the value add there.
So Anthony, which one do you use? Like one more than the other, or is it case by case? How would you go about it?
Yeah, we look at it case by case. So, you have to keep in mind like who fits the box or who will be willing to take this risk, who has the money at the time. The difficult part with private money is like what Bailey was saying is you could ask your friend, your cousin, is like, hey, do you have 100,000? Yeah, I have 100,000. Well, you find another deal. It's like, do you have another 100,000?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I have one more 100,000.
Yeah.
Okay, you find a third deal, and you're like, you're flipping two projects, and do you have another 100,000?
Right.
Well, no, I don't. So the private money can run out. So you take a look at that. You're like, hey, how many private loans do I have out? Do those individuals have money out right now that I could utilize, or do I have to go to a bigger institution, a company, a business, like you said, and with some deeper pockets and approach them, because typically they're not going to run out of money. They're going to be fine. There's more red tape, less than a traditional loan, but more than a private loan. And so that's when, if you're asking me like, how do I know what to use? We kind of fill out the situation, and we know the appetite of each lender. Like we know, hey, this is what they're going to require, and are we in a position to be able to provide that to them, what they require? Does this property meet their standards? For instance, I guess we could talk about manufactured homes or a multifamily. Like some hard money lenders, even though we're very comfortable with manufactured homes, they don't like them as much. Some hard money lenders will not touch a manufactured home, or they may not touch a home over a certain age.
Yeah.
They may not. When I say touch, they may not lend. They may like, hey, that's our guideline. We don't lend on a manufactured home. Where the private lenders, they're more comfortable. They're typically local. They know us a little bit better, and they know our track record on manufactured homes or trailers. And they're like, yeah, no, I'll lend on that. No problem. Because they know we've done really well in the past. Whereas the hard money lenders like, no, like I don't care what you've done in the past. We're basing this on our guidelines from our investors. So we those are some ways we go. The other ways we go is we may look at a hard money lender may say, yeah, I'll lend on that property, but I'm going to require like 45% down or 35% down. And and you go, wow, well, I'd like to use the hard money lender because, we have that relationship and we have all our entity docs in with them, and we provide it. We just did a deal with them. So, I would like to go with them, but I don't have that money right now. I don't want to put 35% of the down payment. I only want to put 20 or 10%, and the private money option may be the better option on that deal.
Right.
So we take into account all those factors when it comes into that.
Yeah, and there's sometimes where we don't put any percent down. Some of our lenders, lend on the whole deal.
Yeah, and
So those are perfect situations.
that's a no-brainer where we want to use. You want me to back up a little bit?
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, where we'd want to use a private money, but then we sat there and thought about it, and we're like, well, okay, yeah, none of the money came. We didn't have to use any money. Like, this happens, zero money out of our own pocket, because we've done business with them. We've developed a relationship.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Very important.
We developed a relationship where they trust. They're like, you know what, these guys are pretty much a sure thing. We'll give you all the money because they want to lend more money so they can make more money in return. That the more they lend, the more they make. So
And they know you already, so they know it's a done deal.
yeah, they're like, it's secure. But typically they don't get creative as creative. And what I mean by that is some of these hard money lenders, yeah, they may not fund the entire thing. They typically, the maximum we're seeing on leverage wise is they'll lend up to 90% of the value. If it's a very cookie cutter, like no brainer, it's a property, it's a single family home, stick built, it's a 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna lend maximum like 90% loan to value, right? So if it's $100,000, they're gonna lend you $90,000. You only have to come to $10,000 at the table.
What about the? Do they want a down payment on top of that?
No, that's the down payment, 10,000.
Oh, okay, I got you.
They only want 10% down.
You give them the 10,000, and then with that 10,000, they'll add that to the 90,000 that they're gonna let you loan and send that over to title or whatever.
Right, but here's where I'm going with this. So you're like, well, Anthony, what do you mean? You just said that you and Bailey just did a deal and they financed 100% on a private. So why is 90% better? Well, we know sometimes hard money lenders, they kind of like to be in control of the rehab to make sure that the rehab gets completed, like, because they have a value of what that property is going to be like after completion.
Right.
And they want to know either that you can sell it for what you're saying, or refinance it to get so that you pay them off and get your money, to do a long-term loan. So what they'll do is they'll actually finance so they can be in control. They're going to lend you the repair cost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the hard money lenders.
Yeah, so let's just say we borrowed,
okay.
say in the scenario we borrowed $100,000 from a private money lender, but they gave you the $100,000, but the property needs, let's just say, $50,000 in work.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give them, you have to take out of your pocket $50,000 to do the repair. So you're like, oh, so you got zero money into that deal. Well, we have zero money into the purchase, but then we take another $50,000 to fix it up, to do the repairs.
Yeah.
Whereas the private or the hard money may say, yeah, just put 10,000, but we're gonna give you the 50,000.
They could fund the whole project, and that's what I was gonna ask you about, because I was like, okay, yeah, cool and all, and they'll lend me maybe 90, 100%, but what if I still don't have enough money to do the repairs? Do I have to take another loan? But what you just said is the key,
right? And that's rare. So that's not going to happen with a first-time flipper.
Yeah, first-time flipper, hard money. You're gonna have to create your track record. You're gonna have to prove yourself to these guys. So they'll probably have you put a good amount down.
Yeah, and to get the best rate with them, which is usually a little less than private money, to get that really good rate and to get that high LTV, loan to value. Typically, they want to see that you've done some projects in the past. They're going to want to see a track record. So we have to provide that. So, and that's why we go back to the same ones over and over, because we've already provided it. But they can look it up. They can say, "Hey, have you guys done this many deals?" Well, yeah, we're buying it under this entity. Like, you could take a look at them. And in the last year, we've had 4 or 5 projects in that LLC.
Yeah.
So, we definitely have the track record to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not going to, if it's your first deal, you're not getting all your rehab budget funded at 10%, with only 10% down. That's probably not going to happen. It could. We're giving you like the best case scenario there. But typically it's that 20% down. You're funding all your repairs. So like, again, you ask, where do I get all my money for the repairs?
Yeah. So what do I do? Okay. I'm a first time investor. I want to get into this. I kind of have a crew that can do all the repairs. I just don't have any money at all. Like what's the move? What am I supposed to get a hard money loan or private money loan and then get another loan for the repairs?
I mean, I would say you can get creative. What I would do, if I have the deal and I can get the hard money loan, but I know you, Felix, and I'm like, hey, Felix has about $60,000 in his bank account because we talked last week, and he's like, hey, I have $60,000 to do a deal, and I'm like, well, I found a deal. It's a great deal to buy. It's going to take $60,000, and then Felix is like, well, I'll put most of the money up, but how about we get, that guy Bailey that we met at our last, investment meetup. He can do all the work.
You mean the meetup is going to happen on January 11th, 5:30 at Brewers?
Shameless plug.
The one next week, January 11th, 5:30 p.m. over at the Pint House Bar and Grill.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
So you met Bailey. So like we went, fast forward. This is like January 18th. This is a week after the first one.
A week after the meetup we're having on January 11th, 5:30.
Correct.
Brewers.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
we met. So we're in the future. It's January 18th.
Okay.
Okay. So we met last week on January 11th,
Yeah.
2024,
Yeah.
at about 5:30. And
That's right, at 5:30 p.m. Where actually I was able to meet a hard money and a private money lender, and I was able to compare the two, and I went with the hard money lender.
Wow. that's
no, I
amazing.
went with the hard money lender.
I went with the private money lender.
I contacted you, and I'm like, hey, that guy Felix said that he had $60,000, so I called you up.
That's right, because I just finished doing a flip with this one guy that I met at the mixer, where he was like, "Dude, I'm having issues moving this project. I can't move this property." And I said, "Oh, you know what? I know somebody who will buy that." And I just added my price on top, and there we go.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Done. So now you have
Anyways.
$60,000, Felix.
That's right.
And I'm like, hey, Felix, you want to put that $60,000 to work?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, I have this deal. I need $60,000 for the down payment, and then for part of the repair costs. The problem is if you use all 60 because you need 10,000 down and 50,000 to do it, it'll eat up all your 60, and then I don't know how we're gonna service the loan because we got to make payments. So you're gonna be a little tight, right, Felix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna make you a little tight.
That's right.
It's probably gonna make you uncomfortable. So what I was thinking is, you remember that guy Bailey?
I do remember Bailey.
He swings a hammer. He has a crew. He said that he wants to do a deal. He had no money. He couldn't find a deal, but he has the crew, and he's gonna do he can do 90% of the work.
Perfect. So I got approved for the loan. You provide the rest of the
No,
money.
I got to
Right. You got approved for the loan. I provide the money for the renovations.
Right.
And we got our boy Bailey and his
kidding.
crew to do the flip.
Yeah, so now you don't have to use all your $60,000. You can buy all the material. Bailey's crew, they're going to provide the labor.
Right.
So now, you're going to cut that rehab budget in half. So now you're only going to be exposed $25 grand. So I'm going to need 35 from you, not all 60 of your grand. And you're going to make the service. You're going to service the loan
Okay.
when the payments come. So what if we go to, Bailey, let's talk to him, and then let's see if we can make a deal and see how much we have to give up of the deal. Let's talk to him.
Charge a hefty price, boys.
Hey, Bailey, what's up,
Hey
man?
Bailey, how you doing,
That's
man?
good.
Hey, me and Felix were
Dude,
talking.
we had a great time. Yeah, we were
Yeah, that-
talking. We were like, dude, that guy Bailey at the mixer,
We
the
saw some
Yuma
of-
real estate investing mixer.
we
over
saw his
at-
pictures of his last flip, and it was nice.
It was really nice. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we knew you didn't have your cash trap, but you wanted to take another project on.
Yeah. Let's rock and roll, man. My guys are hungry.
You
We're
wanted,
ready to go.
yeah. So
What you got?
we actually just came across a deal yesterday.
Mm.
And me and Felix, I got the deal, and I know the guy. He wants to sell, and he just inherited this property.
Okay.
It's out in the foothills. It's really nice. We just got to needs a little bit of work, but we're getting it for a great deal. But listen, Felix, he has the cash right now.
I got the money, bro. I got the cash. I moved this property that this guy was having trouble with, and I made up the mixer, and we could do this. We could do this. I know we could do it.
Okay. Yeah. So Felix is all jazzed about it. He has the down payment money. Okay. He has the money to buy all the material. We were just wondering, can you and your crew come in and basically become a partner for a percentage, but you guys provide the labor?
So
like you guys can do 90% of the work, you said? Like all we have to do is hire out what? Like plumbing?
Man, I got guys, we do 110% of the work.
Oh, shoot. All right. We'll grab David and them and bring them over.
We got what you need, boys.
All right. Yeah. So you got all labor covered. Mm-hmm. All right. So, like with everything like skin in the game, we have to, let's see how much we could potentially make. Like we did in the calculations, right, Felix? We're going to make about like 25% return. This is a really nice deal. We can make like about $60,000.
That's a huge ton.
So what are you saying? You're saying my guys, you're not going to pay my guys until after the project's done and we get a profit?
Yeah, well, yeah, you pay your guys like whatever you got to pay them.
Okay.
And then you when we sell it, you'll get your payout.
Okay, profit share. Okay.
Yeah. We can like we can add up like how much money like we're all putting in, and
Well, I'm not putting anything in, Felix.
Okay.
You're putting the money, you said.
Felix got the bag.
Well, I'm putting bag. You kind of putting bag too. What is you putting?
I'm bringing the deal.
You bring the deal. Okay, you bring the deal. All right. How much should we give him? How much should we give him?
Wait, Felix. Like you're negotiating with me. Like I'm gonna tell you guys the deal. Like what? Like I'm coming up with terms here.
All right. Continue.
All right. Like I found this deal. It's a sweetheart deal. I'm gonna. Like I want to work with you guys.
Yeah.
But I met this other guy at the mixer too. Might be able to help me out. But like I'd rather work with you.
Okay.
So I was thinking, how about I get like 60% of the deal, you get 20.
Okay.
And you get 20. So if we make 60,000, you'll make $12,000. He'll make $12,000, and then I would take 60. So I'm gonna make like 36,000. Yeah. Is that cool? No, that doesn't sound right. No, you know what, guys? That's maybe a little greedy for me. Felix, like I know. Okay, I found this deal. Like it's like this deal is you don't have a deal.
You're right.
But
like, it's like the same thing, Like if you don't go with us,
give it to me. Give it hard.
If you don't go with us, and like who you gonna go with? Like he the flip guy, he the do the work. I do like the money. Yeah, you got the money guy, but now you gotta find another flip guy.
Now you sound like you're part of the mafia. No, like okay, so let's just do this right. Let's do the first one right, and let's be fair to everybody.
We don't gotta be even.
Yes, like, no. Like I want to be fair with you guys.
Okay.
We all gotta make money. We all gotta feel real good about this. I want you guys. You're putting in a lot of cash.
I'm putting 60 in there, man.
Let's do 50.
No, you're not gonna have to put all 60. You're only putting like.
All right, I'm putting 35 in, but 35, and if opportunity comes up, I don't have the liquid cash to buy it right there.
Right. So
listen. We'll do 50. You get your 50. You get your 25. Oh, wait, we're doing 60,000 on. Never mind, you're not getting 50.
Look, let's do this. Just split it thirds, like 33.
Okay, where you going, even, Steve?
Because it's our first deal. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
And we're all bringing something to the table.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to get a relationship for the future. Like we all got to win.
We all got to win.
I don't want any resentment. Like we all get the same. Is that cool? Can you do it?
Hell yeah. What's going on, Bailey?
All right,
you in?
We'll do it.
All right, so
perfect.
Okay, I got the lender lined up. We'll put it in an LLC, and we'll create an LLC. We'll all be on it, and then we'll split profits.
Okay, that works with me.
3 ways.
Let's do it.
All right.
That does it.
So that's how you can do it then.
That's like a real life example of a conversation that you might have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You might not have that many working parts, but at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
You could have 3. Who knows? You could have 4. You could have a brother and a sister, or 2 brothers, and they're throwing in their money, and they're kind of JVing and getting the deal done. But I mean, something's better than nothing.
Yeah, because if not, then you're not doing anything. You
Yeah.
don't have the money to move that. Yeah.
What if, I mean, like the reality is we met somebody the other day and those three guys, they all had the money. They had the money, but they didn't have the expertise. They don't know where to get the deal. They would need like a handhold through the whole thing. Well, there's three of those guys already.
So you need three things. You need the drive / what is it like?
Knowledge.
You need the drive, you need the experience, and you need the funding. If you got all three, then you don't need anybody else.
Yeah, I would say the drive is the time. You have to have the time to manage the deal, to meet with people, to put it together. So you need that project manager, that time guy. So you need him, you need the money, and you need somebody that knows how to do it.
Definitely. Yep.
Because
To do it
sometimes
right.
you have the time to do it, but you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and then you're not gonna make the ARV.
Yeah, or you're gonna get stuck and you're gonna make
Spend
mistakes.
more money.
Yeah, make mistakes.
Fixing the mistakes.
Yeah,
So am I still playing contractor?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my guys, I trust them. They've been with me for years.
Okay.
But just in case we don't do deals in the future, how do you guys know whether somebody's trustworthy or not with your contractors?
That's, I mean, at the beginning, you have to, you just probably have to just trust your gut, relationships, ask around, and see, like what's the reputation of that contractor,
Okay.
and
word
a
of
lot of
mouth.
it's just, 99% of the people out there, they're good people. Most people, they're not gonna take advantage of you. I mean, you hear the nightmare stories, but most people, like, they want to do business continuously. So, and we're in a small city comparatively to like Phoenix or somewhere like that. But, reputation's big, and people find out, and so usually most contractors, I mean, you run into them, and sometimes they get in a tough spot. You don't come back or something for some reason, but, I mean, yeah, it's taking a little bit of a leap of faith, but there's like checks and balances.
Yeah.
Like, you don't pay them all. It's like, hey, I'm gonna charge you $6,000 to put all the flooring in and paint. You don't give them a check for $6,000. Like, give them maybe half or a third. Say when you get to this point of the job, then I'll give you another third of it, and then when you're done, I'll give you the rest.
Got it.
That makes sense. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how we're gonna protect, and that's what we explain to like new first-time investors. That's a good question.
Makes Dallas.
But I've seen that. It's like, I already gave him all the money and he hasn't come back.
Yeah, we hear horror stories like that all the time.
And
Yeah.
that happens. I mean, it happens.
You told Bailey about the one we just heard a while ago.
Which one was that?
That they gave the money to the contractor and then he dipped.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that happens.
often,
It doesn't happen often, but that does happen.
unfortunately.
It could happen. Probabilities are low, but
It's a prob-
probabilities are not zero.
Oh, Felix. Felix is a
Dropping
mathematician.
bars.
He's going to do some math on that. Make sure he figures out it.
I'll pull out that Excel sheet, make a VLOOKUP table, plot the points, find the slope, find the answer.
He's way smarter than us.
You should see Felix with his. We ask him to run numbers on something, and he's like I'm with my calculator, and Felix at an Excel. He's like, yeah, I ran the numbers on this. He's got a graph. Here's the y-intercept. Here's the slope. Here's the variation of the. I'm like,
Yeah, over time it's going to change to
And it
this.
works, bro, because you got all these data sets, all these data points. Because sometimes you're like, you know what, this property is bigger, it's got more square footage, right? But like that actually, it's okay. You just plot the data points. There is gonna be a correlation. There's gonna be some sort of correlation between the two, and then figure out the slope, figure out the intercept, and you're gonna get a pretty good, accurate representation of what your square footage at the price based on the data points.
See, you guys, this is what you get with Felix when he's running your comps and he's bringing you deals. Like, you get somebody who's put a lot of thought, who's put a lot of energy
Oh heck yeah!
and research into making sure this is a deal.
Mandatory. We need 3 data sets minimum. If there isn't 3, then not gonna happen.
Yeah, then we usually just we do a wider like base. We go back to like experience. I mean, there's stuff that we really dig into. You know that.
Yep.
sometimes then it's not like so much the data, it's kind of experience. Like you'll run it by me or somebody else and say, hey, like, what do you think? Like, this is what it's telling us, but we're still not 100% like going to rely just on these datas.
Exactly. Yeah, we take a look at everything. That is just one of the many things that happens in order for us to come up with these prices.
Yeah, we do. It's like detective work.
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh
detective
yeah, I
work.
love it. I'm going through. I'm like, why they had it listed? Why didn't it sell? What's going on here? Why did they do that? Yeah.
Right. So in addition to the data points, there's external factors that you take into consideration as well.
Yeah, the data set is just, the graphs is just kind of like, does my MAO make sense? Does it fall somewhere between, like, because you can tell it's not a linear, it's not like a 100%, but there is some sort of correlation. You can see the data points as you start putting them in. You can see like they're all falling within some sort of straight line and they're following some sort of pattern. Maybe they start curving upwards or downwards. And once you come up with your MAO and you find that, like, you can compare that, like, does it make sense? Does it fall somewhere close to that line?
Yes.
And that's what I love about it.
The mathematician.
Yeah, we'll leave running MAOs to Felix because he's the best man for the job.
No, it's
Let's do
perfect.
it.
We're like, hey, we need a calculator for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever calculator you need for, man, I'll make it for you.
Oh, wild one is the one that calculates not only the dollar put into the project, but the time factored into
Yeah.
That was wild.
that was a wild. It was
I
like
made you guys a calculator for
it was
that.
like an if-then statement,
It was
wasn't it?
it was a bunch of if-then statements, a little bit of coding here and there. It was fun, man. It was fun trying to, cause like
That's probably the best calculator that we've ever been a part of, but I bet you like there's not a
No,
lot of
I
I don't
don't-
know if anybody has that
No,
calculator.
I know coaches. I've talked to I've been in different groups, things like that. That's the most advanced calculator I've run across.
oh shit.
Yeah. I think you beat this estimate.
Let's go. That's the goal, man. That's the goal.
I think what's funny about that is Zillow has this thing. It has like this running thing. I think you can Google it, but it's like if anybody can beat this estimate with their algorithm, they'll pay like I think it's like $10 million. Like they'll buy it off you.
Oh,
Say less to Felix.
say let's do it.
Yeah. So I mean that's another early retirement right there.
Yeah, man. I enjoy
gotta figure that one out.
It's problem solving. It's like, I need you to do me a calculator that can do this. Well, it's like, how do I do that? What do we need to know? What are the variables? What are the knowns? How do we get to that? What's the equation?
I think
I like it.
the caveat with Zillow is that their data, they have all the data. Like we're pulling their data into our sheets. So I think that's how they get it. They're like, well, not using our data. Well, then it's really tough.
Well, the thing is though, we're using Zillow to find out the data because Zillow doesn't.
Well, we provide the data to Zillow. That's the crazy thing.
Oh yeah. We
Really?
provide the data to Zillow, but
But they compile it.
they compile it, but we can go in there and just use the data from actual sales. That's what we're doing. We're using the data. We're not using this estimate. We're using data from properties that sold.
No,
in
we
the
don't
area.
use this estimate. I'm just saying if ours because ours estimate's more accurate than.
Yeah.
I mean, our estimate or our CMA or our comping is more accurate than Zillow. They give us estimate, but then there's like a range. If you ever notice when you look at this estimate, like pull up your address. If you're listening to this, just put your address into where you live, and it'll give you your estimate.
Yeah.
And then, but if you scroll down a little bit, it shows you like a range.
Yeah, it gives you like a little range
It
where
says this year's estimate. It's like between 300 and 340.
Mm.
and then it tells you where in that line do you fall. Are you above average? Are you on the lower end? Are you right in between?
Yeah. So it gives it like a disclaimer. Basically, hey, here's your estimate based on square footage, but it could be this too.
Yep.
Mhm.
So that's where us as real estate professionals, we come in and zone that in.
Yeah. No, I was glad I was able to meet you guys over at that networking mixer at what's it
The
called?
Pine House.
At the Pine House Bar and Grill on January 11th at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If I wouldn't have met you, we wouldn't have had the people to do the remodeling process. I wouldn't have gotten the deal if it wasn't for you, and we wouldn't be able to move forward if it wasn't for my funds. So it was a
Dude,
win-win
that
situation.
was awesome, man. I'm just like, so like that happened on the 11th of January 2024,
Mm.
5:30 p.m.
which because we're in the future.
Yeah, time travelers.
We're talking about last week, but that's really next week, January 11th.
Yeah, January 11th, 5:30 p.m., which is what, next Thursday?
Yeah, so for you guys that are currently living in the present and aren't from the future like us,
Yeah.
it's going to be Thursday of next week, January 11th at 5:30 p.m. over at the Pint House Bar and Grill. And don't forget to join the Facebook group, Yuma REI, where you can go ahead and meet other investors digitally. And you can even put deals up there that you're having a hard time moving or that you might have found.
Or questions.
Or questions.
So Felix, like, is there a catch? Like, what's going on? Like, why are we? It's Yuma REI. You're putting it on Investors Link's putting this on to do what? Like, what's the catch? Are you just?
Yeah, we just want you investors to connect. We want to meet you guys. We want to know more. We want.
So you're not selling us anything. You're just inviting-
No. Everything's for free, man. We're not selling you nothing.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back next week.
Yeah, you only got to pay for like your food or your drink. That's it. But I'm not going to you and selling you a packet of something or anything. I want you to join my list of buyers for free, so I can send you these deals, and so I can keep sending you more deals.
But like, so you're connecting people that want to do it for the first time. Maybe they have like a portfolio. They just want to meet other people. You're just connecting real estate people.
I'm connecting anybody who wants to get into investing.
Awesome, man.
Yep. There could be real estate agents involved. There can be people. If you're having troubles with your credit, there might be people over there that can help you with your credit that may have knowledge about it. Private money lenders, hard money lenders, transaction coordinators, contractors,
Title people.
You name it, man. We want you to be there. We want you to meet everybody else. We want this to grow.
Okay, cool.
That's what we want. We want to make a little sweet community.
That's awesome, man. We need that. I love that.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you next week at January 11th.
At 5:30 p.m.
At the Pine House Bar and Grill.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we're Next Level, and this is the Next Level podcast. We don't buy properties. We buy problems. Yeah, let's get it.